Hey, theme park nerds.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Parker. And we're talking about Cedar Point in season 2.
So anyway, on this episode of Theme Park Nerds, we're going to be talking about Cedar Point and my recent trip there after Parker's wedding, because after I went and ate all his food, I just hit theme parks in the area while he went off and, been a husband.
So, Mike, which was better? My cake at my wedding or Cedar Point?
Now, here are the pros and cons. Cake. Delicious. Cake lasted for multiple days because I took lots of it home. And cake wasn't wet. Cedar Point had roller coasters. Cedar Point, not so delicious. That was probably the worst meal I had, and it was the wrong place, but the most expensive and the worst meal I had was at Cedar Point of this whole trip. And it was rainy and windy, and everything was closed most of the day. So
Not a good combination.
It's a toss-up.
Not a good combination.
It's a toss-up.
So what you're telling me is my wedding cake was better. It's fine. It's fine.
Your wedding cake on those three criteria was better.
My wedding cake was the shit.
That's two curses on these partners. Two.
It's so good. Oh, man.
All right, so anyway, rainy, windy, drizzly, horrible day at Cedar Point. Saved by the fact that Cedar Point is an awesome park and has really good rides. So I just want to start off with the fact that I went from Kings Island down outside of Cincinnati up to Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio, and there isn't a road that goes there. So
There is not.
Driving to Cedar Point from Kings Island is the most backwoods country, through farms, through people's neighborhoods route I have ever taken. And I've driven a lot.
You could have taken 71 north
up to Cincinnati, up to Cleveland, and then over, right?
Up to Cleveland, and then just took 80-90 over, yeah.
Yeah, which would have added like 20 minutes onto my trip. So I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I want to take the scenic route, which I got lost on, and added another hour onto my trip, and I got there late.
So what has saved you 40 minutes?
Yeah, it would have, but Apple Maps said I would be better. So, point of the story, if you're going from Cincinnati to Sandusky, take the interstate. It's going to cost you $2.
You're going to drive from Cincinnati to Sandusky, kill yourself.
Yeah, so anyway, I did. I've now seen all of Ohio. So I got, the point of that story was I got there an hour later than what I expected to. So I get to the parking lot, I go straight into the park. I bought my 2-park ticket at Kings Island, so it was boom, right into the park. Park was empty, great, because everybody in Ohio knew it was going to be a crappy day, so they didn't come. And then I beeline over to Gatekeeper because it's the new hotness, I want to ride it. I get my locker, throw my crap in there, I run up to the front of Gatekeeper, there's no line, they're sending the next train, and right as it leaves the station, they go, "We're closed for weather." And I'm like, so mobish. I missed riding Gatekeeper by that much, and it did not open the rest of the day.
Yeah.
While everything else opened for wind and weather and a lot of different points of the day, apparently Gatekeeper is just made out of twigs, and if the wind blows at all, it just goes blah, 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 blah. So nobody could get on all day.
I feel like there's like a solid point in that ride that if the wind does blow, you're not making it through something. Like you're gonna get.
It's probably those things in the entrance. Like they got the 2 keyhole elements in the entrance, and I'm sure if that track wobbles at all, it's just gonna be like smack, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
That's bad press.
Cedar Point, that's my old home park, I would say. I've been to Cedar Point more than I've been to probably any other park. As far as I'm concerned, it's great. It's out on the lake. It's beautiful out on the peninsula.
Yeah, the location was beautiful. Aren't you
Awesome.
Isn't your alma mater the Corkscrew?
It is. Woo Corkscrew. That's all I gotta say.
I need to share a brief story about the Corkscrew that Parker already knows. However, it's something that needs to be told to everybody because I almost was paralyzed because of the Corkscrew. It's just a standard loop, 1 loop, 2 corkscrew station. Simple, basic, straightforward
1976, baby.
Woo! The landscaping around it, beautiful. Like, they did a really good job of kind of dressing it up to look really nice and fancy. It's a 1976 Corkscrew roller coaster. So I go do the loop, and I'm already hurting because I don't fit. And then I turn around into the first corkscrew, and I literally hear my spine go crack. And it's like, I'm going to die. I'm going to come out paralyzed. Because there's again, 6'4". don't fit. And so I was swearing that my spine had just like snapped my spinal cord and I was going to come out paralyzed. And I didn't. So, yay. So,
Yay!
keep that in mind. So things I did ride at Cedar Point, because really it was a horrible day to be at a theme park. It was so rainy and so windy and just gross. It was great, which made it good because there was nobody in the park. Like everything was a walk-on.
True.
It was Kings Island where it was just stupid busy. Cedar Point was empty. That's the only reason I got to ride anything was because it was when the few moments when rides were open, didn't have to wait for anything. So first off, I want to talk about Millennium Force. Because
done. Great ride.
OMG, IDK, I love it. It had the thing that 3 trains with no brake run, which from the nerd standpoint, the fact that they would even attempt doing 3 trains with no mid-course run, just good job. B, there's no mid-course run. It's just speed the entire time. Like, you're just going. I mean, they pull you in this big old contraption all the way to the top, and you just fly. And all the turns are on the ground, except for a few that are just, like, big, looping, swoopy turns. For the most part, you're turning in tunnels on the ground just at full speed. It's fun. It's fast. It's smooth. It's awesome. I really, 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 really like Millennium Force. So much fun.
Super great ride. If you load into the train, you ride on the right side. After you go down the first hill and you go into the first overbank turn, there's actually there's a steel beam that they had to weld some of it out, because if you're tall enough, like you are, you can actually lean out of your seat, put your hand out, and you can hit the beam. So they actually had to go out and weld out a piece of it because people were knocking their hands, having a time of their life.
It's so much fun.
So just around the bend from Millennium Force is my wife's favorite. It's Maverick. So I want to hear your take on this roller coaster.
I wanted to like Maverick so much more than I did. It's a launch coaster. It's all limb launch. So it's, launch up the lift hill, launch up another lift hill. It's just speed the entire time. Lots of cool maneuvers and twists and turns and all that sort of stuff. It was so rough to ride. And not because of, because I'm giant or anything like that. It was just, it just jerks you around like a rag doll. And it has this very elaborate restraint system that didn't help. And it should be such a good coaster, and it's a great layout. It's a great package that they themed it around. It just wasn't comfortable, and that almost ruined the entire thing for me. Like I wanted to ride it again, and I could have, but I'm like, no, I hurt, and it was sad. And it looks so good, and it's so much fun. It would have been so much fun if it just wasn't a pain to ride.
Yeah. I agree. It depends, and it really depends on how your body fits into this ride. Like after you go down, as you're going up the first lift hill, it's a limb launch lift hill, like Mike said, but it only goes like 12 to 15 miles an hour. It's not very fast. But once you hit the top, it actually curves in. It's one of those like beyond 90 degrees. So like you get thrust up, and if you're a guy, in the seat in the middle, there's a little nub. And if you come out of your seat at all and you come down on that, the rest of your ride is not very fun.
I'm really glad that didn't happen to me, because that would have made it even less fun.
That would have not been fun.
Can we talk about the sky ride really quick, which was essentially the sky ride from the entrance to further down the entrance?
Correct.
You come into the park. There's the first sky ride station, and then it's kind of like a main street, like a main road that goes through from the entrance to the back of the park with shops and stores and all that sort of stuff. And the sky ride is just in the middle of it, and then when we get to Corkscrew, where the road ends, it kind of starts branching off into different coaster areas. That's where the sky ride ends. So essentially, you save yourself maybe 2 minutes of walking. Which is probably like a 30-minute wait for a sky ride to walk 2 minutes. Why? What happened?
Back in the day, the sky ride used to go from the front of the park. It actually went all the way back to Frontier Town, and there's like an old It's a fort. I'm pretty sure it's called Fort Sandusky actually,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that used to be where the
That
Sky
was a
Ride
station?
took you to. That was a station. Now because of Millennium Force and because of
Top Thrill?
the no, it didn't do anything with Top Thrill. It actually went kind of over
Around
where
it?
Mantis was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it kind of like went to the left of it and kind of like shot through. That's just where it went.
So Top Thrill Dragster was a walk-on, which was really happy because I have an issue with rides that no matter how awesome they are, if they're less than a minute long, and I have to wait more than 20 minutes for it, I get angry.
Not worth it.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Superman at Magic Mountain is totally that sort of ride where it's just zoom, zoom, one trick wonder, done, and if I have to wait for it, I'm out. Top Thrill, awesome ride. I mean, it's 0 to a million in like a millisecond, and you go up to this tower that goes until forever.
Which you so good to the right the whole time.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. And you see everything, and it comes back, and it is up, around, down, zoom. And it was my first, big mega coaster like that. I liked it a lot, and I only had to wait 5 minutes for it, which made me like it even more. And the thing that I was really impressed with is they did an unload and a load with double trains on each side. Like, they thought capacity on this sucker, which really
That's how they
impressed me.
roll.
Like, it was really, really good. Well-designed ride, fun ride, awesome. Like, very cool ride.
Dragster just has the lap bar and the seatbelt. That's what's holding you in. Whereas Ka has the whole, I know Ka has the extra bunny hill. Great. There's a brake run the entire time. Don't care. Dragster, it's just that one giant hill that you can see from anywhere in the park, and you can hear that roar all through the park all day. It's very intimidating. Great ride.
Mantis. So I'm not the only standing coaster I'd been on before Mantis was Riddler's Revenge at Magic Mountain, and I'm not a huge fan of Riddler. It's okay, but mainly because it's not comfortable. So I'm like, okay, let me give this whole standing coaster thing one more shot. Got in line for Mantis. First warning sign. The entire front row of the train before me just puked their guts out all over the train. Like, just disaster. Like, they had the hose out. Here's my shot of the guy with the hose. Just spraying down the train because it was just so much puke. It was everywhere. And that was warning number one that it probably wasn't a good idea because everybody just lost their entire lunch.
Everybody just threw up.
Yeah. So then I get on it, and I don't like standing coasters. And I don't think I'll ever ride another one because I hurt so much coming off that one. It just wasn't fun. Like, it was a good layout. It's a good coaster to look at, but it was not a fun ride.
It's not very comfortable.
No.
It's a very strange layout for a ride. It's great to look at, but you go down pretty coaster. You go down the first hill.
Giant.
Whether or not they have the brake run on going down the first hill is always fun. You go chuck, 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 and then you go through the loop, and then you kind of come up and make it's like a diving loop to the left, and after that, it just hurts. It's just whatever.
Other one that I wanted to like so much more than I did, Magnum, which it looks so much like everything I built on Roller Coaster Tycoon, and
in real life, it's real.
Yeah. It's like the exact design that you get for the Hypercoaster and Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I'm not building that anymore because that also not fun to ride, like painful.
Now what did you not like about Magnum? I will give it to you. It is old. It's very jerky,
and I'm sure
especially in the final bunny hop sections of it, where you're just like wee ow, wee ow,
and that was probably a good 70% of my dislike for it. Was just it needs every bolt in that thing needs to be tightened. It just is so jerky and bouncy and just blah, blah, blah. Didn't like the restraints. Didn't like the seating design. Like it just
the old school lap bars that are just like a U.
Yeah, exactly. Just old design that maybe it's because I'm so used to riding comfortable coasters.
Coasters that were built in the 90s. Or later.
Coasters that are built to be comfortable, not like this is going to be a test of your skill and your might and your manliness because you're going to endure it.
That's true. There's not even most coasters, even the Beast has padding around the seats, because they know you're gonna knock into stuff. Yeah, Magnum, it's a straight hard plastic seat, Matterhorn bobsled style, and then it's just it's a one.
New trains of Matterhorns were comfortable in this.
And like then you have the one long safety belt for both people, and then you have like the individual lap bars which don't even fit you. Like you have to cross your legs, put them under the seat, and lean forward to get it down. And then you're going up a lift hill for 2 minutes, and then you're like, oh, okay. The pretzel's my favorite part of that ride. You're out by Sandcastle Suites. You're just screaming your head off, and there's just a ton of geese. That's my favorite.
Yay for geese.
Yay, geese.
So, other rides I did like, because apparently I hated most everything. I really did. I liked the park. Cedar Creek Mine ride. Cedar Creek Mine ride. Super duper old and good. It's a mine in the sense that they put mine on the sign. Like, there is no mine. You're not indoors. You're out on a field. But that's fine. It's a wooden, old style wooden, like, ore cart style coaster. And you can tell it was designed by somebody with a pad and paper and a protractor and a compass. Like, because it has all these kind of long straightaways to get to this event, and then a long straightaway to get to this one. It's like, well, we want a loop. Let's put it here. Well, we got to connect that to that, so let's just like it's.
If Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 were building it, you built 2 parts of the ride you wanted to, and then hit auto finish.
Yeah,
and it was just like straight line.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was comfortable. I liked it a lot. And yeah, good ride. Unexpected good ride.
What did you eat at Cedar Point that you did not enjoy?
Again, this was back to the waiting for Gatekeeper to freaking open, which I would have just given up on Gatekeeper from the beginning. My day I would have hit Raptor.
Did you eat famous Cedar Point French fries? Because if you didn't, you're dead to me.
I did have Cedar Point French fries, and they were rock hard. I got a cheeseburger and fries at that little snack bar by Gatekeeper. It was 2 girls working the entire thing because I was the only one eating. And the burger wasn't even hot. And the fries were made probably at noon, and I was there at 3.
So you did not get famous Cedar Point French fries?
No, I got horrible Cedar Point French fries, and I got a horrible burger and a way under fizzy water Coke that cost me $14. Like I said, then it was like, meh. And that was my first impression of Cedar Point. Closed ride, horrible food.
That is the Gatekeeper.
I don't want to talk about around the park, because that whole section. I mean, granted, Wicked Twister was fun, but the whole front, I'm just pretending it's not there because I didn't get to do anything other than have a horrible burger, rock hard French fries, and look at a bunch of closed rides.
Mike, I'm sorry you had such an awful day at Cedar Point. I personally would like to invite you back to Cedar Point next year, and we will go, and we will hold hands, and we will ride rides, and we will laugh.
Well, I got tee-hee rides. As long as I don't have to wait more than 30 minutes for Thrill Dragster.
You know what? I will, if it's a busy day, I will buy you the fast lane pass, and I will let you go and just have the most joyous of days.
So now that is officially on the internet, it is now law.
It's legal now.
Will be held to that in the future. So on that note, let's wrap up this random recap of a drizzly, rainy, gross day at a really fun
Cedar Point. It's a peninsula. It rains there. It's in the middle of a lake in Ohio.
It rains so much, and don't take the country roads to get there. Point of story. And ride Millennium Force as many times as you can. And
don't take the country roads.
So, on that note, that wraps up another episode of Theme Park Nerds. If you haven't already, you should be like us on Facebook because awesome things happen on our Facebook page. You should be following us on Twitter because awesome things happen on our Twitter feed. And you should totally be checking us out on themeparknerds.com, www.themeparknerds.com, because it is home to our blog, it's home to all of our awesome pictures from our trips, and it's home to all of our awesome Theme Park Nerds gear and apparel that is super cool and looks really awesome and helps the show out. So go to themeparknerds.com for all the latest information, all the fun stuff we're doing. Until that, I am Mike.
And I'm Parker.
And we will see you later, nerds.